Did you know that there is a way for you to get a $100 onboard cruise credit for the rest of your life, anytime and every time you take a cruise? That's right. Here on this channel, we love talking like all things money, travel hacking, stocks, investing, retirement. And there's this little known kind of investment slash travel benefit where you can earn $100, maybe even $250 in onboard cruise credit simply by owning specific stocks. So today I'm going to share with you what stocks you need to own, how much, and what those benefits look like. You're not going to want to miss this. So you heard right. This past year, travel essentially got shut down completely. No one was thinking about where they could go or where they could plan to go in the foreseeable future. But if you're like me, that didn't stop you from maybe thinking of what was possible, especially if you use things like credit card points and rewards to book travel essentially for free. You see, you could use that time when nobody's traveling to bank all those points and start looking at any itineraries that were open into the future and maybe start planning or at least think about that perfect cruise. Now, I know that cruises aren't for everybody. Some people don't like the idea of doing boats or ships, and other people just love that they could take their family on a vacation where all the food, the lodging, even the entertainment is all pre-planned and taken care of for them. So if you want to sort of scratch that travel itch with me right now, go ahead and drop a little like down below for this video. It really helps spread the word on this type of content, and I really appreciate it, so thanks. So one of the more interesting things about cruise travel is that they publish these itineraries like 3-4 years in advance. You could pick where you want to go, for how long, on which ships. And if you're like me, you know that you can use a credit card that has like trip cancellation and insurance policy coverage where you basically know if it has to get canceled for a reason, you're going to get that refund back. And what I mean by that refund is a lot of times you only have to put down a small deposit to hold your room. And then as the cruise gets much closer, like something like 90 to 120 days out, then you take care of the balance. So how can you maximize the deals that you see all the time with the travel you want to plan? Well, let's go back to what I mentioned before, something called a shareholder benefit. That's right. If you own stock in a specific company, think Carnival, like Royal Caribbean, Norwegian Cruise Lines, then any of the associated brands, if you own a specific amount of stock, then you get something called a shareholder benefit when you travel. Now, let me just talk generally speaking because each of the programs is a little bit different. But if you own 100 shares or more of that specific cruise line stock, then you're entitled to a shareholder benefit in the form of an onboard credit. So let's just say you're taking like a quick 5-day cruise. A lot of times they'll give you like $50. Let's say you're going for a little bit longer, like under 2 weeks, but more than a week. That's that $100 onboard credit for your trip. And for those longer cruises, maybe the transatlantic ones, they might give you upwards of $250 onboard credit. So you might be asking yourself, well, is it a good idea to even buy cruise stock, Rich? Didn't I hear it was like drastically down? And the answer is yes, it's a good idea in my opinion. And yes, it was drastically down. At the time of this recording, I went and looked up Royal Caribbean stock and it was hovering around like $80 per share. So to buy 100 shares, we're talking like, what is that? $8,000? That's a ton of money. But back when the pandemic was in full go and nobody was traveling, the cruise ships were shut down, the prices were as low as right around $20 per share. So if you're a strategic planner and you love money like me, you could have bought 100 shares of something like Royal Caribbean for right around $2,000. And now you have that benefit, that shareholder benefit for life. Oh yeah, and the stock has gone up 4x since buying it. So now you've got all that appreciation as well. Now on this channel, I don't give financial advice. This is for educational and hopefully a little bit of entertainment purposes. But there are a number of places where you could go to dabble in stock investing. I know it sounds like an intimidating topic and it doesn't always mesh well with the travel community. But I'll leave a few links down below in the description to a few places, and I'll name some right now. Webull, M1 Finance, even Robinhood. Don't love Robinhood, but they all have commission-free trading. Places where you could go and buy a whole stock or even a portion of a stock, kind of like a little slice of a stock, until you could hopefully get enough to gain this shareholder benefit. Now, all of the three places I just named where you could buy stocks, they always give you something free for signing up, whether it's one stock or like $50 or a few stocks. So again, be sure to check out those links down below in the description. Now, you might think that's where this video stops, but of course, I want to help you save even more money. And not too long ago, I did a video all about sort of like secret Chase and American Express offers. And I've noticed that when like certain times a year come around, you can actually activate these offers on your Chase or American Express credit cards and maybe get some money off on your cruise travel. For example, this past winter, I had an offer of put $500 on my Amex credit card and instantly get $150 back when it went towards a Norwegian cruise. Now, what's really cool about that, as you know, when you book these cruises, like I said before, they only ask for a small deposit. But you know that you're going to have to pay the balance before you take the trip. So when an offer like this pops up, all you need to do is activate the offer and then go and take that specific card, and you could call up the cruise line or go online and just pay that specific amount, that threshold that you need to hit. So in this case, I went and put $500 down, instantly got $150 statement credit back on my card. So it was like I got $150 off the cruise simply by being aware of these different offers. Oh, and one more thing just popped into my mind. Going back to the shareholder benefits, usually printing out like a brokerage statement is what you're going to need to do. They have a way where you can submit that proof online, and you could also call, mail it in, fax, whatever works for you. So again, down below in the description, I'll leave a little blog article that I wrote, and you should be able to find some information in that to help you if you're interested. And of course, as always, a few places where you could spend that onboard credit. Sometimes they offer those specialty dining. Personally, we're starting to enjoy those more and more, but I know when we first started cruising, we never liked the idea of paying extra for food when it was basically free and abundant in all the other areas of the ship. Another idea is putting that onboard credit towards one of those excursions that you really have a tough time like coming out of pocket for. We've done the helicopter rides in Alaska, the swim with the dolphins in the Caribbean, and it sure does help to have some cruise credit to put towards those types of excursions, those once-in-a-lifetime adventures. So again, just some ideas of where you could take the cruise credit and put it towards when and if you get it. A couple of key takeaways. There is a little known shareholder benefit that can kind of combine the worlds of travel and cruising with stocks and investing. And those benefits entitle you to anywhere from $50 to $250 every single time you take a cruise in onboard credit. And the threshold you need to have or meet in order to get that onboard credit is to own at least 100 shares of that specific cruise stock. Again, cruise lines like Carnival, Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, they all offer their own version of this shareholder benefit. So whether you have your favorite cruise line or you just like investing in cruise stock, then it may not be a bad idea to pick your favorite and start building up those 100 shares over time. Personally, I see us, especially in those retirement years, traveling more. Cruises will be in the mix. So I don't currently own 100 shares of Royal Caribbean, but I think I'm going to put that on my radar and just keep buying dollar cost average, every month or whenever I decide to buy, just a little bit until we hit that threshold. Also, don't forget, it's a very good idea whenever you're booking travel, especially, whether it's a year or 2 years in advance, to put it on a travel credit card that has trip cancellation insurance, one that you know you have some benefits where if things happen, you can get that deposit back. A few of my favorites are the Chase Sapphire cards or the Amex Platinum cards, specifically for booking travel. So again, I'll leave a link down below in the description to those best travel cards. Oh, and some fun ideas, ways to spend that $100 onboard credit is simply to treat yourself. You know, whether or not you like getting massages, getting your hair done, or upgrading to like the premium drink package. I'm sure you could find a way to spend essentially like free money. And don't worry, the cruise lines offer a ton of choices, so you'll find a way to easily spend that onboard credit. Just making this video brought back a ton of like old memories for me, trips we took, blog posts I wrote. So if you haven't already, please check out my website. I did a whole article on investing in cruise stocks. We have a whole video comparing some of the best, travel credit cards as well. So that's full of resources. So be sure to check that out for yourself. Also, I am releasing my first ebook in just a couple of months. It's going to be all about how to travel for free using the Southwest Companion Pass, essentially like 2 years of free airline travel. You're going to need to be on my newsletter if you want to get a copy of that, or you can join our private Facebook group if you want to be notified of when that is available. So feel free to check out that private Facebook group as well. All right, as always, I'm Rich, and until next time.